All right. Without any further delay, it is Friday. This man knows movies. He knows music. He knows streaming. It's quite impressive, from the superhero films to the comic books to whatever, to the esoteric Korean film with subtitles. He knows it all. He comes and goes. A rainbow. He's the great culture blaster, Michael Snyder. Hi, Michael.
Hi, and an official greeting to you, Mark. Glad you're back in the captain's chair. I know you've been ducking me for the past few weeks. It's okay.
Yeah, it's true. I'm sorry. Nothing personal.
I know, but hi to Kim, to Albert, and to Tony, wherever he is, and especially to the best audience imaginable.
Oh, I love it when you suck up to the audience.
Believe
early.
me, no,
It's
I read
good.
your comments in the chat, although
Oh,
it
yeah.
has to be after the fact since I'm so busy imparting my takes on film, TV, music, art, nightlife, sports, and politics when we're in progress. And I am grateful for those of you who listen and react to my segment with your insights and recommendations. You know, Vicky, Ricky, Trevor, Phineas, Teacher Lori, who makes the occasional suggestion while I'm in transit here on the air. But you guys are the best. And speaking of the audience, and we mentioned this on the intro, I'm glad to be part of the Spring Kaching Pledge Drive here on PBS. I'm sorry, I meant the MTS. I'm so sorry. And remember to
the science is ridiculous.
give what you can via Super Chat, PayPal, and Patreon. Don't give until it hurts, but do give until the Proud Boys take us away to the re-education camps, because you know that's coming.
It's a dark vision. I'll give you that.
I know. Okay, let's get down to this week's movie reviews. We've got superheroes with emotional problems, the latest projects from 3 Hollywood bad boys, including one with tragic real-life circumstances that postponed its release for many months, and some intriguing indie films from woman directors. But we have to start with the super-powered elephant in the room, Thunderbolts, asterisk. Thunderbolts is the latest and easily one of the best of the Marvel movies, part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You don't necessarily have to have seen everything to enjoy Thunderbolts, but it would help if you maybe saw the Black Widow movie with the ever-popular Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanova, the Black Widow, and with the fantastic, and boy, she carries Thunderbolts, the absolutely fantastic and lovely Florence Pugh, who plays Yelena Belova in Black Widow. Just to give you the tiniest bit of backstory, she and Scarlett Johansson's character of the Black Widow were raised in a Russian spy school called the Red Room, and they were located in America undercover as sisters with a father, adoptive, of course, who is in fact the Russian super soldier Red Guardian, and he is played by David Harbour. And Black Widow is a pretty decent standalone film that does have implications on the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you saw that, and if you saw The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was a Disney Plus Marvel TV series with Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, you kind of know enough to jump into Thunderbolts. The basic situation...
Now, are they called Thunderbolts, Michael, for those of us who don't watch this? That's what they're called. They're like a group.
Yeah, they kind of adopt the name. And it's kind of funny how and why they adopt the name.
All right.
But in any event, it's just a super-powered blast. It's anti-heroes.
You really like it.
Anti-heroes, misfits, and conflicted quasi-bad guys band together by circumstance into a fighting team that has to save the world. And if it echoes Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which was very funny and heartwarming, or DC's Suicide Squad, which was funny and not so heartwarming, I mean the second Suicide Squad film, Thunderbolts manages to be its own thing and one of the better Marvel movies in years. They're kind of bouncing back, although the Captain America Brave New World film was, I won't call it a dud, but it was one of their lesser efforts. This gets things back on track. And again, the character of Yelena Belova, who is played by Florence Pugh, is at the heart of this, and she opens the movie at the top of the second largest skyscraper in the world. Is it Malaysia?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah,
and she jumps off of it. And apparently Florence Pugh did a lot of her own stunt work here. This isn't a Tom Cruise thing. I know they did have a stunt person do the denouement of this leap.
Right.
But if that doesn't get your blood going, I don't know what will. But it happens that Yelena has some serious issues. She's lost her sister, the Black Widow. She feels like she's in a kind of a funk. She doesn't know what her purpose is. and Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays the CIA head. Valentina, this is kind of a funky name, but you got to get it. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, and she is a typical.
What?
That sounds like a comic book name.
She is a typical. She's a countess. She's a typical kind of government functionary. She is deep into black ops, and she wants to manipulate all these sideline heroes and turn them into kind of weapons for her benefit.
I see.
And she is on the griddle with a Senate investigation, and she's trying to make a case for why she should be director of the CIA, and they're trying to bring her down. And our boy Bucky, played by Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier from earlier Marvel films. And again, you don't have to know too much about this. He's now in the Senate, and he's trying to bring charges against her. She, in the meantime, is gathering all of these misfits. They include the U.S. agent, who is kind of a dime store Captain America, played by Wyatt Russell. Very funny. Ghost, played by Hannah John Kamen, who is kind of her own sort of spy character who can phase in and out of reality. And she's pitting them against one another, and there are some really awful experiments going on at a secret location, kind of a villain's lair. And there, these anti-heroes find that they have something in common. They want to get back at Valentina, but also there is the victim of one of their experiments, a guy named Bob. And the guy named Bob, who is very much a milquetoast, is played by another really good actor, and that would be Louis Pullman, son of Bill Pullman, and he has a secret. So all of them together are stuck under fire and forced to go after Valentina in some way and reveal these bad things she's done. That's the essence of it. And I have to point out that David Harbour and Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan are all in incredibly good form in this film, and there is a lot of heart and emotion. In many ways, this movie is about mental illness. The character of Bob has some issues as play out over the course of the film, and I don't want to spoil it. And all I can tell you is I was wildly entertained. It was satisfying as a Marvel
you really
fan.
like it. Clearly.
Okay. And let's tell you, it's helmed by a beef producer director, Jake Schreier. It's co-written by a screenwriter of, among other movies, Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow, and one of the main writers for The Bear and Hacks. So
so you got a lot of good pedigree going in there.
Absolutely. It's funny. It's poignant. Genuinely awesome action and fight scenes. The whole cast is on point, and the movie itself has so much killer action and genuine heart. And before we move on, the in-theater marketing has been inspired, especially as regards the aspirational aspects of these ragtag anti-heroes. It's a giant Wheaties box, only it says Thunderbolts across it. These are the most unlikely of heroes, and to have them in this fantastic display in theaters, it just really tickled me.
The audience is saying, we got it, we love it, we can't wait to go out there and watch it, go to the theater. But what's next?
Okay, here we go. I just wanted to, it's a kind of a passion of mine, these movies.
I understand.
All right, so Nicolas Cage is back. Talk about Hollywood bad boys. This guy is a dynamo, and he always has been. And when he's playing loony or under fire, he is at his best. And The Surfer is about a guy who was raised in Australia, I think Australian and American parents, and he used to surf as a kid in this cove. And his big dream, he's been a successful businessman, his big dream is to buy the house where he grew up, overlooking this cove where surfers like to go. But when he shows up with his teenage son to surf, to bond, to be there at this important place for him while he was growing up, there's a gang of kind of punk, roughneck, criminal type surfers that say, get out of here, no surfing, we don't want you living here. And all hell breaks loose.
Oh, I love this because it's based on a true story, kind of.
It's kind of.
There was a group of surfers in Southern California that took over a favorite surfing spot, and they were thuggish about protecting that spot. So this kind of reminds me, anyway, of that story. I'm not saying that it inspired this script, but it's very reminiscent of that problem.
He's trying to finance the house on the phone. He's sitting in the parking area above the cove, and these guys start tormenting him. These punk criminal
I love
types.
it. So in the end, does he kick their ass?
I can't even get into that, but
God.
it's the middle of the summer. the heat starts coming down and he starts breaking down. You know, you're waiting for him to crack. And when he does, it's kind of a bone shaking, viscera splashing, tooth grinding bash.
Viscera.
The Surfer,
There you go.
the Surfer, it's directed by Lorcan Finnegan, and it's very entertaining. And it's Nick Cage at his scenery chewing best. And as things get worse, you are even more involved in it. And oh my God.
I'm excited. So is there two that he likes, The Surfer and Thunderbolts?
Yes,
What's next?
indeed. Moving on, because we really, really must. Rust is finally coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Another Hollywood bad boy. It's Alec Baldwin. And despite being overshadowed by the accidental on-set shooting death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins, inadvertently by star Alec Baldwin, Rust turns out to be, and it sat on the shelf for a little while, it turns out to be a decent, well-acted Western drama in the tradition of the classic John Ford movies of yore. And Baldwin plays kind of a grizzled old outlaw, an older guy, and he ends up with a young boy who has been sentenced to hang for an accidental shooting death. Oh my God!
Wow.
Talk about life imitating art. And they go on the run from Wyoming to Mexico. That's the intent. And there are bounty hunters and sheriffs and miscreants after them on this. And you know, Hutchins did such beautiful work in this. The cinematography is gorgeous, shot in Montana and New Mexico. And it's heartbreaking to think that this talent, this wonderful eye, was snuffed out. But it's all on screen. Rust is, I guess, in select theaters this weekend. And good work by Josh Hopkins as U.S. Marshal after the Baldwin character and the kid, and Travis Fimmel as a bounty hunter who's kind of a religious nut. So you got all that going on. It's a little long at over 2 hours. Maybe judicious editing would have been in order, but the beauty of the cinematography and the solid performances kind of make it. It's not great, mind you. Joel Souza wrote and directed it. It's solid. And it is in theaters, only select ones, but it's also streaming starting this weekend. The other two films, The Surfer and Thunderbolts, are both in wide release, in case you're wondering.
I said at the time when the whole incident went down and people were saying, oh, they're going to get rid of this movie, you'll never see the light of day. I said, are you kidding? They're going to make sure that they release this movie.
It took almost 2 years, Mark.
But they want, I mean, the commitment and the curiosity factor alone will probably drive some box office.
It's not mediocre. It's better than that. It's good, but again, it's not unfamiliar, the
Got it.
terrain. Okay. You know, one of my favorite films this weekend, I guess we have an embarrassment of them if you're considering the first two I mentioned and how decent Rust was. This movie, Salvable, I don't want something like this to fall through the cracks. It is part boxing movie, you know, where the former boxing phenom ends up on the skids. He's working in a, I guess you call it a rest home or a, you know, assisted living situation. He's estranged from his now ex-wife and his teenage daughter, and he's trying to keep it together, and he keeps his hand in as a sparring partner at the local gym with the guy who used to be his trainer when he was an Olympic hopeful. So he's there. It's a Welsh seaside town, very picturesque backdrop, and the performance by Toby Kebbell as this guy, as this boxer, is excellent and rich and deep. And Sal is a luckless situation. You know, he's kind of a black hole. Things just don't go well for him, but he's trying his best to hold on to somehow be a good father after he's been a crappy father. But an old buddy of his from the less, shall we say, straightforward days shows up. That's Vince, played by Shia LaBeouf, another Hollywood bad boy.
Wow.
And he's kind of unrecognizable. He has a UK accent. He's got a black beard and like bleached blonde hair, and he is trouble from the second you see him on screen.
And he wants to get him into some kind of heist or something?
Yeah, well,
it feels very heisty.
There are kind of bum fights or unregulated fisticuffs going on, and he wants to have him be the referee at these circumstances, and they're paying him. So it's a little extra money. He wants to buy a house. He wants to have more custody of his daughter, and it's just not working. There are complex performances. LaBeouf is good in a supporting role, and Kebbell is really first rate. Directed by Bjorn Franklin and Johnny Marchetta, written by Franklin. I think that Salvable is a movie people should seek out. It's called Salvable, something that can be saved, but you'll see as things play out. Again, like Rust, it has some familiar tropes involved, but it goes its own way, and the performances are moving, and I recommend Salvable. It is, in fact, in select theaters and also available for streaming. So,
all right, bring us in with a big finish, Michael Snyder.
I'll do what I can. It'll be two parts. We got to get to Bonjour Tristesse. Bonjour Tristesse is a remake and update of the 1958 movie directed by Otto Preminger, which starred Gene Seberg, David Niven, and Deborah Kerr. It's considered a classic. It's about the middle of the summer. It's the French seaside, and a young but budding teenage girl, 18-ish, is there with her good-looking father and his girlfriend, but her late mom's friend shows up, and that kind of throws the entire circumstance into chaos. And in the case of this remake, the 18-year-old girl, Cecile, is played by Lily McInerney. The girlfriend, I guess Nalia Harzone, but the pivotal roles of the father, Raymond, and the late mom's friend, Anne, are played by Klaus Bang, who is a wonderful character actor who was in Bad Sisters, among other things, of late, and Chloe Sevigny as Anne. And this causes all kinds of soap operatics. It's not great, but it's done with a lot of care and passion for the original material, and it kind of updates things. Durga Chubose is the name of the director, and she also co-wrote the script based on Francois Sagan's original script, and it's good. It's, again, very much like Salvable and The Surfer. The settings are really kind of lovely. You're you're on the French Riviera. You can't go bad there, and that kind of carries it to an extent. It is in select theaters, and it's also available for streaming. And let's wrap things up with Elektra. In Elektra, with a C, not a K, so don't confuse this Elektra with
The
Marvel's,
superhero.
assassin. A music journalist and his photographer girlfriend meet up with a rock star on the wane and his performance art girlfriend in Rome, in beautiful Rome, and they end up at the artist's palazzo, and things start getting revealed that you didn't expect, and things start going kind of nuts. There's an acid trip. There's some sort of secret plan to steal a object of art. It's very, very engaging and entertaining. Imagine Saltburn crossed with the talented Mr. Ripley, and you have the vibe of Elektra. And one of the best things about Elektra is the fact that I guess you'd call her a performance artist, is played by the very engaging, and you must be familiar with her from the, I guess, the movie done by Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh,
the Borat film.
Borat,
yeah, it's Maria Bakalova, and she's really pretty great here. The director, again, a woman, Hala Matar, keeps things kind of rolling, and it's kind of sly and subversive, and I was caught up by it. Again, not a great film, but certainly ambitious and kind of well executed. Again, we've sort of been here in a way before, but I liked it. It is, again, in limited theaters, and it is also available for streaming right now. It's called Elektra, and that's it on the movie front.
I am excited. You are someone who's come in with an ebullience and an enthusiasm about these offerings. Even the ones you weren't as crazy about, you still kind of liked. Elektra, the music journalist meets the artist. Sounds like my kind of movie. Things start in a kind of interesting way, and from the primordial ooze, things change, and in the darkness, there's all kinds of plot twists. This is a great, I think, evening for me. Elektra.
It might be. Or you might go to sleep if it's the evening.
Bonjour Tristesse.
Which means, by the way, hello sadness, for those of you who don't speak French.
Oh, it's the remake of the Otto Preminger movie. Michael very much liked it. And he feels
conditionally.
Yeah,
yes.
Conditionally. I see. Okay. What was the condition?
The condition was that it's sort of studied, and it moves at a very languid
too slowly.
pace.
It's a slow burn.
Yes, a slow burn. It's very much in that way, like an afternoon on the Riviera.
Terrific. I'm then not likely to see it soon, but you never know. Maybe in the same. Salvable, the boxer estranged from his family, works in the assisted living facility, and Tony Kebbell and Shia LaBeouf.
Toby Kebbell is the real deal. Phil. We've seen him in a number of films over the past few years.
Excited about seeing
This
Salvable.
is
You liked
one
it.
I recommend. Yes.
All right. Rust, the Baldwin movie, much anticipated. In the center of all that controversy, Michael says it's actually not bad. Maybe a little long,
Yeah.
but not bad.
I'm not Mr. Western, and I still was carried along by this.
The Surfer is the Nicolas Cage film.
Woohoo!
Gets a place by his favorite surfing cove, and then the surfer thugs come after him. These are tough surfers. They are not all about hanging out and hanging out.
No, it's almost
They're about hanging out.
It's almost a cult. It's kind of very culty.
He loved it.
Vicious. They're vicious.
I can't wait to see that. It's called The Surfer. Thunderbolts. That's the superhero film. Yelena Belova leads it off with apparently a stunt to outstunt other stunts.
Other than Tom Cruise, who does the same sort of jumping off a building thing in one of those Mission Impossible films, yes. But
Michael loves it.
it's the acting.
He really loved Thunderbolts. You had all the reasons. We spent about an hour and a half on it,
Oh,
and
please.
he really
Please.
liked it. Michael, we love you. We love that you come through. We love to see you in the flesh.
You can check me out on the Voice of San Francisco website. That's thevoicesf.org, where I have a piece about the recent smash hit Sinners and The Ugly Stepsister, horror with conscience. Great stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I want to see that Sinners. I know that's, I'm falling way behind. I look forward to reading your stuff on thevoicesf.org, and I look forward to your Friday visits, Michael. And you come and go on a rainbow.
Go Dubs! Go Giants! See you next week, people.
Yeah, right on.